This podcast session will be about the Chris Watts case. Why are people still obsessed with this case 2 years on? How did this case become so huge on social media? Why won't people just let it be? Now, let me make it clear. This is not going to become a Watts channel. I'm not going to be riding this conspiracy theory trajectory. But I will be discussing this case because this case has become bigger than I could ever have dreamed it would have become. Bigger than I could ever expected that it would become. I want to know and I want to discuss, why is this case still so prevalent in people's minds? Why are people still so intrigued, so interested, so obsessed with the Watts case? I have a few of my own theories, and I'm not going to be driving all the conspiracy theory crap. These are my own ideas, and it's a discussion. Nothing is set in stone. But I think one of the reasons why this case became so popular is because of the media. Somehow, the media locked onto this story, were able to transmit it in a way that was very accessible to everybody, to the general public, to the nation. And the media is basically the first point of call, first point of information. So that's the first reason why this case became so popular, because the media made it popular. The second reason I think this case is so popular is the attractiveness of the victims. Shanann was an attractive woman. Chris was an attractive man. Their children were attractive. They had an attractive house. Everything seemed attractive on the surface. I think the third reason why this case became so popular and why people are still so obsessed with it is because of it's the idea of the perfect family. Shanann portrayed the perfect family. We know that obviously wasn't the most realistic or the truest portrayal, but I think that's what Shanann wanted. Shanann wanted a perfect life. She wanted a perfect life for her children. She wanted to have the perfect husband. She wanted to have the perfect career. She wanted to do it all. She wanted the best. And I do think that Shanann was a perfectionist. Doesn't make her a bad person. Doesn't make her a bad person at all. But we all come from families. We all have families, to some extent. So I think that's the other reason why this story became so popular, because it's about a family. The fourth reason I think this case is still so popular is because there are many videos of Shanann on social media. If you want to find out about Shanann, if you want to see a video of her, you just click on a button and everything is right there. I mean, she shared her life with the public. So I think that's another reason why this case is still so popular. People can't let it go because Shanann is all over YouTube, basically. She's still on social media. I think the affair is also another huge point. An affair is always going to be a big talking point in any event, in any kind of media storm. An affair is going to be a big talking point. It's a scandal, it's intrigue, it's a talking point. An affair is always going to be made a big deal out of, and the affair obviously was. Just like with the Scott Peterson case, the affair was made into a big deal. An affair is always something that's going to intrigue and interest people. It becomes like a soap opera. The other reason why I think this became so popular is the strategic release of information by the CBI, the police, the attorneys, etc. We were given a lot of information about this case. It was released on social media. It was released on the internet, and people had the benefit and the ability to access that information, more so than in probably any other case. The other reason why this case is still such an obsession for people is that it's the Watts against the other family, two families at war. People are always interested and intrigued by families at war with each other, families in competition with each other, families who don't like each other, families who are in conflict with each other. that always makes that always creates intrigue. And I think that's another reason why this case is still so popular, because it's like good versus bad, evil versus good, that kind of thing. The other reason why this case is still so popular is because of the conspiracy theories, many of which are so far out there and so ridiculous and are not even worth my time commenting on. However, I probably will comment on some of the conspiracy theories at a later date, but there are many out there. There are conspiracy theories that he was just an observer of the crime. Chris Watts didn't do it. That's a load of rubbish. We all know that he did it. Anyone intelligent knows that Chris Watts is as guilty as they come. There are conspiracy theories that Nicole Kessinger was the orchestrator. There's no evidence of that. There's no proof of that whatsoever. There's conspiracy theories that Shanann was abusive to her children. There's no evidence of that. No evidence. There's only one person who committed this crime, and he's sitting in prison exactly where he belongs. Chris Watts murdered his wife. He murdered his children. He lied about it until he could lie no more. So I'm not really a big fan of the conspiracy theories. The final reason why I think this is so popular on social media, and I hate to use that word, I think the final reason why this is still such an obsession, this case is still such an obsession for so many people, is because of the absolute horror and tragedy of this crime. It was a horrific crime, one of the most evil, horrific crimes you could ever think about. I mean, the fact that he put those children in oil tanks, it's just horrifying that a father could actually do that to his own children. So these are the main reasons why I think this case is still such an obsession for the public, why people won't let it die, why it still keeps on burning, why people still keep discussing it and keep going over the same stuff over and over and over again. I really don't wish to create any trouble or cause any pain to Shanann's family. They have my absolute sympathy. Shanann's family have my total and utter devotion and in terms of sympathy. My empathy and my sympathy are completely for them. I don't feel the empathy for the Watts family that I would normally feel, because I don't feel they had any empathy for Shanann. I don't feel they had any empathy for the victims. It was all about their precious son. It was all about Shanann was the bad person and Chris was the good guy. I don't believe that ideology. I believe that Chris Watts is exactly where he deserves to be. And I don't believe that Cindy Watts in particular showed the kind of empathy that I would expect a grandmother and a mother-in-law to show towards her daughter-in-law. She didn't have to like Shanann, but I think that in death, Shanann deserved more respect from her mother-in-law. That's it for now. I'll be posting something else very, very soon.